Okay, so I'm sitting here with Thibodaux' hottest DJ, Bàwldy. How are you doing? How are you doing today,
I'm
Bàwldy?
doing really good.
So this is your first BUKU performance, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So that crowd was pretty insane. How did you feel?
Freaking out. I was panicking a little bit, but it was fire. It was fun.
All right.
All
Well,
right, look, y'all, look. All right, let's go.
so when did you get your start with music?
Uh, Probably like when I was like 7 or 8. Like I started playing guitar and stuff, and then eventually just got into EDM, and then just started making dubstep.
So why did you choose EDM over other genres?
Well, at first I didn't get it, and then my buddy took me to a show, and from that day on, I was like, all right, this is like I want to be up there how that person was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how that happened, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to make dubstep. Yeah.
So what makes something dubstep?
The tempo of the song and like the drums, like it's hard to explain, but it's the tempo and the drums. That's what makes dubstep. It's like a certain I don't know, rhythm, I guess. I don't know.
A rhythm?
Rhythm.
So was there any defining moment where you knew you wanted to be a musician?
When I was like young, like 7, 8 years old, like I always wanted to be in a band. But then realistically, it's hard to get 4 other people on the same page. So that's how this started, basically.
Are there any particular artists that influence your sound?
Boogie T, for one, Blunts and Blondes, S Fam. Basically all the locals, basically, because all the locals out here are doing like different stuff. Like I feel like, I mean, everybody got their own thing, but the locals out here really got their own sound. Like everybody's doing their own thing. So basically all the locals.
Are there any bigger named artists that influence your sound, like that you grew up listening to, that you wanted to make music like?
Like just dubstep or like any
dubstep.
dubstep. Rusko is like the OG, the legend. So Rusko and Caspa, they're basically like what I'm trying to go towards, like that style of dubstep, not the newer style. So yeah, Rusko and Rusko.
What's the difference between the older style of dubstep and the newer style of dubstep?
It's more slower. It's like the tempo's way more slower, and I don't know. It's not as heavy. It's just more like it's more of like you could dance to it, kind of like, I guess.
How do you prepare yourself before you go on stage?
Like set wise, like preparing tracks, like to play.
More like how do you prepare yourself?
Well, you told me a little trick about something I did it today, and it worked perfectly. But usually before, I mean, I probably shouldn't say this, but usually before I would just get a little drunk. But then now, like I don't know, she told me a little trick, and then now I know what's up. Now I'm not nervous.
And what is the trick?
I don't know, something with your nose. I didn't know really all of it, but I tried my best, and it worked.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad I could help. When you're making music, what is your creative process?
Start off with the drums first, like for the drop. Make the drums, then I make the sounds, make the whole drop, and then I make the intro and like all the rest of the stuff, and just build around that, basically.
So it's like a formula.
Right, basically. I mean, I was always taught, like all my buddies that when I was learning, always started with the drop. So I guess that's just, I mean, everybody's process is different though. So, I mean, there's no wrong way to do anything. You could like, I don't know. Yeah, there's no wrong way to do anything. I just personally rather start with the drums and then make the drop and then build around that. Yeah.
Okay. So last question, what does music mean to you?
Everything. Everything.
Can you elaborate on that?
Like, literally, like I wake up, listen to music, like all day listening to music, trying to find new music or making music. Like there's my whole day, every single day revolves around music. So it's literally everything, basically.
Okay. Are there any upcoming projects or any songs, albums coming out, shows that you want to mention?
I got a bunch. I'm playing. Well, I mean, I got hella songs with I got a song with Blunts and Blondes, S Fam, Taboo, Borkrock, a bunch of collabs, and then I got a bunch of original tunes, like just me on them, and then got a bunch of shows in the future, like California, playing Honolulu, Hawaii, a bunch of shit, a bunch of shit.
You're playing in Hawaii?
Yeah, Honolulu, Hawaii. Yeah.
When is that?
420.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's crazy.
gosh. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bàwldy.
No doubt,
This
no
was a
doubt.
great interview.